My name is Todd Haberkorn. I am a voice actor for video games, cartoons, and anything else that requires some sort of Asian-y voice like mine.
Excellent. Let's get within some of the more basic questions. So, Todd, how did you get into voice acting initially?
Voice acting is not something that I sought out to get into. It was something that just came along as an audition. I was an actor for many years before doing this, and it was an audition through my agent, and I went to it, and they didn't hate it, and they let me stay. So I had been doing stage and film and television beforehand, and kind of transitioned into voice acting when it came by.
It's definitely a theme. There are many great voice actors that have started in either either stage and theatrical or even commercial.
Yeah.
So you have a history in theater?
Yes, yeah. I had a nonprofit theater company as well. Actually, a little bit before voiceover began, and once that started, I didn't have time to devote to the theater company anymore because that's a full-time job. But that was from a director-producer standpoint. Before that, I was on stage as an actor in all manner of plays, from the classics like Shakespeare all the way to Neil Simon and Sam Shepard. So I've had the pleasure of doing just about every type of every archetype of character I can think of. So I've been very, very fortunate.
That's definitely, I mean, it's a broad spectrum of talent required to do.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's quite a large spectrum. In terms of those types of roles, or even more recent acting roles, any type of role, in cases of a story, do you prefer playing the hero or the villain?
I think the villain can be more fun because their job is to really kind of mess up the story, and so they can do it in a variety of ways. Whereas the hero's job is to save the day, and the only way they can do that is by beating the bad guy. So they're more reactive to what's going on. They don't cause problems, they react to the problems. So the villains are the ones that cause the problem. They can cause them in all sorts of different ways. So it's more fun sometimes to play the villain, but it's definitely more, for me, it's very fulfilling to play the hero as well.
Gotcha. So
because the hero gets the girl.
Setting the tone and then matching the tone, kind of.
Yeah, well, just for a variety of reasons. I mean, it's fun because everybody loves the hero, so it's fun to play the hero. The villain is when you want to stretch your horizons behind the mic. So
I believe I was talking with David Vincent a couple months ago, and he definitely prefers playing the villain simply because it's just a little more. You can get a little more crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
And kind of get away with it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Over your more recent roles, are there any standout characters that you really kind of got into or personified? I know the fans love you, in Italia, and
yeah.
I'm sure you get that quite a bit. But any that you personally kind of felt that you kind of got into and it worked really, really well for you?
I really liked Natsu from Fairy Tail, was fun. Keroro from Sergeant Frog, and recently Rowan from Tales of Exilia was a lot of fun to do. So kind of this old man butler that I got to play for that RPG, and it was a lot of time behind the mic with him. So it was really cool to be able to get into that role.
I actually have been playing Tales of Exilia, and it's a fantastic game, and the voice. I mean, for the English adaptation, I sat down and listened to Japanese and I listened to English, and I was like, wow, the casting was done well.
Oh, good. Well, Wendy Lee, she directed that game along with Patrick Seitz, and so it was cool to be part of that. I'm glad they chose me.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at your roster of anime, and it looks like you've worked with Patrick Seitz quite a bit.
Yeah, totally.
So,
when I first joined the Naruto cast, he was the guy that I was working with opposite me in the show. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, kind of along those lines as well. Do you watch anime in your spare time or games in your spare time?
I play video games. I don't watch anime in my spare time. I don't have a lot of spare time, and so when I do, I try to do a little bit more I do the video games because they're a little more interactive with my crew that are in various parts of the States. We come together on Xbox Live or whatever, and we have our game time, but that's very rare.
Gotcha. Let's see. As of late, I know you're kind of stretching into audiobooks. Are you continuing with theater as well, or right now?
There's not really time for theater because the rehearsal process is typically about a month, and then you have a month-long run or longer, and I just don't have that amount of time to devote to one particular project because I do stay pretty active on the convention circuit. So I'm not able to do that. It's been a long time since I've done theater, and I do enjoy when I was doing it. It's been a handful of years now, but maybe one day I'll return to it.
Let's see here. Well, what was your most challenging vocal role, let's just say in the past 5 years?
Most challenging role was probably when I did Rage, the video game Rage. I had to portray characters where it was very deep, growly, mutiny type characters, and it was a lot of lines of dialogue, a ton of lines, and I lost my voice for almost 10 days afterwards. I couldn't even whisper, and it was gone. So I got scared that was it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's kind of like the World of Warcraft voices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They can really stretch and just get worn out really, really quickly.
For World of Warcraft, I usually play I get to be kind of a soldier or a sage. Like in Mist of Pandaria, I was a couple of like wisdom-filled pandas, so it wasn't as hard on the voice because they were kind of older Asian men that I got to play.
All right. Are you happy to see Toonami make a comeback?
Yeah. I just wish we had better time slots because they're like, great, we want to put anime on here at 1 in the morning. It's like it's kind of like a bitter. It's kind of like a backhanded compliment. It's like, oh, we want to have you on the show, but we want to give you one of the latest time slots possible. I mean, I think they need to kick it up to a different time slot. Personally, I'm glad to see that it's back though, and people and fans have been watching it. Maybe we can prove to them that we can do earlier time slots. So we'll see.
Yeah, depending on the shows.
Yeah.
Well, kind of along those lines, your thoughts on like Neon Alley and some of the other emerging services on the internet that are actually now featuring dubs?
I think that if they're legitimate dubs that are legitimate outlets for anime that get proper feedback to the companies that make it to help, and they can take that information and see whether a show's popular to get more of it. I think that's great. Places that because there's still a lot of people that torrent a lot of things, and I know people think because it's easy to do, but it ultimately that hurts the industry, and I hope that they see that it's actually long term hurting what their short term goals are. Short term, they just want to get the anime and see it, but when they steal it like that, long term that hurts it because now they're not getting it through the proper channels. So the people that monitor the proper channels are saying like, wow, nobody's getting this show, when really they're all stealing the show. And so that doesn't factor into like, oh, well, maybe we should get more of it, that kind of thing. So like
hard to track and hard to control and wrangle. Okay, brain fart. What was it? I had lost it. That's good. So, if you could have a role in any movie, any TV series, any anime, your dream role, what would it be?
Oh, Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, in any form that would take.
Gotcha.
Basically, any superhero.
So, superhero.
Yeah, but Batman Beyond first. Or the Flash, or if they need a new Spider-Man voice for a Spider-Man cartoon. I've auditioned for Spider-Man so many times.
The New York one, or
for the games, for the new cartoons, for the the massive multiplayer games for the pinball, Spider-Man. I've auditioned every single time for Spider-Man. Like Marvel, when they have a Spider-Man audition, they know they're going to hear from me. But we'll see. Maybe the 10th time's the charm. I don't know.
Gotcha. Do you have any new and upcoming projects that you can comment on?
Tenkai Nights has just begun airing on Cartoon Network in the mornings. I believe before Pokemon. It's different for different time zones, of course. Always doing a lot of audiobooks. As far as stuff I can talk about, Rowan and the new Tales game. Other things are, I don't think I can, I guess the new Final Fantasy game that just came out, I'm in there. Everything else I can't really mention yet. Some stuff that I'm working on that won't come out for a long time, but it's because they have to animate it and stuff like that, but I'm excited about it.
Are you working on any independent projects right now, or?
I have my first studio album will be coming out this Christmas. I have the EP coming out later this month, and we'll be shooting a full band concert DVD that'll be released along with the album too.
Excellent.
So that's coming out, and Star Trek continues. We're gearing up for our second episode next month, where I play Spock, and Vic Mignogna's Captain Kirk, and we have a new guest star that everybody knows and loves, and so he'll be there. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, I heard about that last year from Vic.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting the gears going.
The response has been great. We've had 500,000 views on our episode, and so we're hoping for more. We released it online a couple months ago, so we're happy that it's getting the hits that it's getting.
It's definitely picking up the traction.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Anything else from you guys? The standouts? Well, I guess it's kind of a thing, but an interesting question that was brought up at Chris Patton's panel last night, the Shares Too Much panel, which is hilarious and ridiculous, but it's awesome. How do you deal with the fanboys and fangirls out there, in particular, like the swarm of them? Do you feed off their energy, or? It's
very kind of them to be so to love what we do so much. It doesn't weird me out, because I look at what they do, because sometimes they'll run up and glomp me, or ask me to marry them, all this, like a lot of, like I've helped name fans' babies, like they're like, what should I name my baby? And I'm like, oh, maybe this, and they actually do it. And so, but then you also get a lot of stories where kids are going through things where they may be doing suicidal things, and they're like, oh, well, this show that you're in, it really helped me get through that, etc. So I look at what they do, and I kind of decipher what they're doing, their actions, and I look at what are they meaning to say. And it always comes from a good place. It's always well intentioned, and so I don't get weirded out by it. It may take me a second to decode what they're trying to do, but it all comes from a place of love and appreciation, and so I'm very thankful for it. I love it when the more the merrier. Following on Twitter at Todd Haberkorn, or we also have a fan club, teamhaberkorn.com, that people can join, and lots of fun stuff on there. So we're out there doing our social media thing, so we're happy to have more people come along.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Todd.
Hey, thanks for having me
here, and I hope you're enjoying NDK.
Oh yeah, having a blast.